Hi everyone, Laurel here, Minnesota Zone 5A. We are going to do a video on what I plan to attempt to overwinter. Most of these things I have not overwintered before, so it's an experiment year, and I will continue reporting back so you all know what worked and what didn't and what's possible. All of these plants, or most of them, I got on clearance. Well, I think probably all of them I got on super clearance at the end of the season. Some of them I got, I guess, earlier in the season and grew them or have taken them out of annual planters. But the majority of things I overwinter, I buy or as live house plants. I mean, these, I won't be digging up roots or letting them go dormant or anything. These will be under grow lights in my basement. So those plants I'm just buying as clearance annuals. So everything, I think the most expensive thing was $2. So it's $2 and under for each of these. My hopes is that I will find some things that I have success with, so that it can save me money in the spring. If I can get things on clearance in the fall and overwinter them indoors, I don't have to buy them at full price in the spring. And also it fulfills my gardening, soul during the cold, long, and dark winter here in Minnesota and the upper Midwest. So yeah, I guess stay tuned through the winter to see how things are going. So I'll go through each of these. First and foremost, this is a Dipladenia. It's a type of mandevilla. This one I bought on clearance. This is the coral pink, I think. I have heard these make excellent houseplants, and people have overwintered mandevilla for many, many years. So I'm just hoping I don't have disease issues trying to do all of this. So I guess we will find out. I also bought a number of different ferns, and I up-potted everything. This is called a ribbon fern. So all of these came in the small, small containers like this size or whatever you find at the garden center. And the majority of them I have up-potted, just bumped up to the next container size for overwintering purposes. That reduces the amount of watering needs, or at least I'm hopeful. It gives the roots a little bit of room to breathe in case any of them were root bound in their pots. But also in the dry indoor temperatures in the wintertime, they dry out much faster than they do outside. And it's harder to water. I can't just run a hose over everything in my basement. So a few different kinds of English ivy here. Ivy, of course, is known as a good house plant. It's a noisy vehicle. So I'll be overwintering these. I will probably cut these strands back. Same thing with vinca. All vinca that I've tried to overwinter, I've had success. This is a fuchsia, ballerina arabesque. My aunt has successfully overwintered fuchsia plants. And I have overwintered cerveza and lime plectranthus for many years. So that's what I have 2 of these. You can overwinter them just in a sunny window. I will be doing all of these under grow lights, or as many as I can fit. Don't have too high hopes about this. This is a Biden's, I think marshmallow, campfire, whatever the proven winners one is. I don't think that'll do well, but I'm just going to give it a shot. Also, begonias. So I've only overwintered tuberous begonias as tubers, where the foliage dies back in frost. I dig out the tuber, stick it in a paper bag, and put it on a shelf in the wintertime, and then I plant the tuber in the spring. I have never overwintered wax begonias. These do not have tubers. They have fibrous roots. So you have to overwinter them basically as a house plant. There's nothing to save in terms of root ball, at least from what I have read. So I got some different varieties of dragon wing begonias, some pink. I have more over here, the red ones and some pink ones. So we'll just see how they do. May have to cut them back. They may not survive, I'm not sure. But again, I'm just made the investment in clearance plants just to see what's possible, because I've never tried any of this before. And this is a some of the tuberous begonias, or a lot of them, are hybrid, so they don't really have a large tuber like the old-fashioned basket ones do. So a lot of times if I try digging out the tuber, this is just the limitless begonia mix. There's really nothing to save. So I'm going to try this as like a living begonia over the winter. We'll see how it does. Worst case scenario, if it dies, I can try and see if there's a tuber to save. Otherwise, I learned something, I guess. This should be, I've easily overwintered this sedum. This one is lemon coral sedum. Even on the porch where it freezes, it gets below 0 or close to 0. It still survives. I just trim it back hard in the spring. I have read this is Evolvulus, blew my mind, dwarf morning glory. I have read that as a good candidate for overwintering, so we'll give that a try. Same thing with Nemesia. These are also very cold tolerant. None of these were root bound, so I am just leaving them in their original plant cans, and we'll see how they do. Don't again have high hopes about the ageratum, but I couldn't pass it up. I just had to try it. It's just so pretty sitting there on the shelf before the garden center, before it went in the dumpster, you know. So I thought, what the heck not? Why the heck not? I'll give it a shot. And then Diacia it's in the Nemesia family, so it should be similar in overwintering performance results, I don't know, to Nemesia. So we'll give that a shot. I have overwintered verbena before. Just be careful not to let it dry out because it will not be happy with you. Just like rosemary, it will get real crispy real fast and struggle to recover. So I'm not sure, I might even put this in a bigger pot so there's less risk of it drying out. But the one I overwintered did come back. It was just real slow to come out in the spring. Lantana is another one. This is hardy in southern U.S. zones. I tried overwintering like dormant roots last year and that didn't work. Probably because I also ripped them out of their pots beforehand. But so we'll try a live one. This one is the coconut, Bandolista coconut. Meizu I have overwintered well. I dug this out of a planter and it's looking real sad. And I know I didn't get a huge root ball when I dug it out. So I'm not sure about that one, but I have a whole bunch more in my other planters. So I'll be trying to work with those. This one is, let's see, what's this one called? This is a Proven Winners. I didn't have tags with it either. I don't have any tags in here. I have read this overwinters well. I love that icy, I've grown it in the summer before. But that icy foliage with the bright yellow blooms is really pretty. This is actually another cerveza lime cutting that I'm just going to see if I can get it to root and overwinter. I'm sure it will, hopefully. Let's not be overconfident here. A couple more ferns. Blue Star Fern is this one. These were in fairly big annual containers, so I actually potted them up. I have 2 in like gallon sized. And then these are bird's nest ferns. I have a couple of those as well, or maybe just the one. Maybe I did just get one. A bird's nest fern. I think it has a different name. Green flame bird's nest fern. I have had these as houseplants before too. So if I don't have room under the grow lights, I know this one I can just put in front of the window. I have overwintered geraniums, like live geraniums. I'm trying for the first time the bag or box method and letting them go dormant this year. But these were just small containers, so I just up-potted them, and these I will put under grow lights. They overwinter very well. They even keep blooming all winter, which is fun. And this is another cerveza and lime plectranthus that I have. I don't usually keep them on my shelves in these pots. You can, but that's just to keep it stable from tipping over. So that is for sure my stash of what will live in the basement, hopefully until spring, if all goes well. I have other things like geranium over here that I will try to overwinter dormant in the paper bag method. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I have another set of things that I'm overwintering alive over here. I forgot I had tucked it up. We got a frost and I just tucked it right up against the house. These guys. So we're going to try Vermillionaire Kufia. Some kinds of Kufia overwinter well, some don't. We're going to give it a shot. I have 2 Vermillionaire Kufia that I up-potted in bigger containers. I have a purple fountain grass that I will cut back. Those are supposed to overwinter very well. They are not hardy here in my zone. I have a couple more English ivy, and then an alternanthera. That one I also am not confident about success with that, but we're going to try. And that is what is going to live on my grow light shelves through the winter. put an asterisk by live. Let's hopeful, but not overly so, I suppose. Everything else, I either overwinter on the porch, dormant, so like the Algerian ivy. The sedum survives out on my porch. Freezes, but there's always enough for it to bounce back. Other things that I overwinter as roots are the tropicals, so the elephant ears and the canna tubers. Overwinter, I dig them out, clean off the soil, put them in a box. And these begonias, these are tuberous begonias where I planted them as tubers. So I will dig up the tubers and overwinter those. I have another older one down there. I think it might be kind of past its lifespan though. This is another of, I think this is a non-stop begonia. So I'll see what the tuber situation looks like on that one when I dig it out. If I can overwinter, I won't be up potting that or anything, transplanting it. Another thing, just for future reference, this little asparagus fern, this was overwintered from last year. I bought that on clearance last fall, overwintered it in front of a window, planted it out in the spring, so that does well also. I'm thinking about some of the wire vine. Again, I don't have a ton of space on my grow light shelves, and I already have plenty to fill it up. But that was really untouched by frost, so I was curious about overwintering that. And finally, the last thing, which I have to clear out of the pot this week, or today, is this Tradescantia. I overwintered that last year as well. I had it in a container, dug it out, and overwintered it on my grow light shelves, and that did well. So that's it. Just a quick little video today. Again, like I said, I didn't buy these grow light shelves. I waited for a Black Friday sale. So I didn't even install them until December. And I did have a lot of stuff on them for last year, but not a lot of annuals. Oh, another thing is Rex begonias. I don't have any of those left this year, but Rex begonias overwinter very well as live plants. So if you have any of those, give that a shot too. They do benefit from some sunlight or grow lights. So I'll leave you with that. That is all. Stay tuned throughout the fall and winter. We had our first frost, clearly, and if you watch my last video, I did a tour of the carnage and what is frost tolerant. But it's the end of October now. It's Halloween coming up in, what, 5 days, 6 days? So this stuff will be going inside pretty soon. And I'll give some tours indoors and then just keep everybody updated throughout the winter with progress and how things are going, and it's all an experiment. So looking at it all together now, I have my doubts about the space situation under the grow lights. But like I said, some things are fine in front of a window. So I don't know, we'll make it work. This is why I'm banned from buying house plants, especially this time of year. But yeah, I'm banned, and this is why. So have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe. Stay tuned for more.